Hello, friends! Welcome to Coding Garden with CJ. Welcome to Morning Tea with CJ. Today is Friday, October 4th, and if you're new to the show, what we typically do is just browse the web, so you can visit github.com/codinggarden/morning-tea. We're just getting started, but this is my break timer. Let's all take a stretch. If you can't tell, I'm kind of tired. I didn't get very much sleep last night. I don't know. I'm okay. But yes, visit github.com/codinggarden/morning-tea. All of the things we talk about, questions we answer, news we talk about, code we write, gets pushed up here. And so the stuff I do today will get pushed up there as well. Let's say hello to all the YouTube peoples. Hello, Vil Codes, who was a little early, but welcome. Hello, Carlos. Hello, Raul. Hello, Ian. Hello, Bagan. Hello, Raphael. Hello, Joe, who says nice timing. Hello, Sakshi, who says I'm here for the first time. Welcome, Sakshi. Maruf says where my message goes. I don't know. Hello, Krisu, who's messaging from the Baltic Sea. That's awesome. Hello, Willy Lump Lump. Hello, Matthias. First time live. I'm so excited. I hope we have fun. Hello, Santosh Raghav. Welcome. And Maruf is from Bangladesh. Long time watching her live, but first time participating in the chat. Well, welcome. We're gonna have a good time. Hello, Aaron. Welcome back. Hello, Durkaral. Hello, Kaizen. Hello, Gon. Hello, Josh. Gon is also new here. We got lots of newbies. That's great. Welcome. Hello, Baro. Gon says they've watched a lot of my videos. That's awesome. Michael says, hi everyone, awesome to catch this while I'm at work. I hear of a lot of people doing that. You just have like one headphone in and you're working on other things. Hello, Jan, welcome. Good morning, Heisenbrook. Hello, Alicia. Hello, Levi. Hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you. I hope you do as well. Gan is asking one solution for the Feathers Mapbox project login. I did do a live stream on Feathers and Mapbox and React, and we got login working with Google. I don't know if you're asking a question or I don't know. Hello, Ayub, welcome. Hello, Adam, who is also this first time here. Hello, Emphy. Hello, Amadou. Hello, Fastow. Long time viewer, first time poster. That's a common theme, but I can relate. Like when I watch live streams, a lot of times I just lurk. I hardly ever participate in the chat unless I feel like I have something to contribute. I don't know. Hello, Pranjal. Gon says you need to do a wait for the logout. Oh, okay. I can potentially work on that, but not today, but when I do work on the live chat thing. Raphael says, can we start rolling out the questions? Yeah, feel free. I may not answer them immediately, but at least you'll get them in the queue and then I can answer them when I get to. Hello, Gabriel. Shalom, Matthew. Hello, Hork. Michael says lurking is so much easier. It is, but it's also fun to participate. Infi says Feathers.js in Coding Garden is like P5.js in Coding Train. Sort of, yeah. I mean, I'm not necessarily sponsored by Feathers or anything like that, but I am making a lot of videos about Feathers, and Coding Train makes a lot of videos about P5, but he's like a part of that organization. I don't know. Hello, Thor from the Dominican Republic. Let's catch up on the Twitch chat. Hello, Brooks, welcome. Hello, Invasion, who says we live. Hello, Alka. Alka says, didn't know you'd be live, just magically heard the intro. That's hilarious. Invasion, also the first time seeing a live show. Welcome. Brooks says, I went to log off Twitch and I saw CJ live, so of course I have to watch. That's great. Alka says, I ate my late night snack and was about to head to bed. Yeah, 8 a.m. is late night for Alka. Cool. Thanks for the follow, Zirelia. And I don't have sound on, so if other people followed, I don't see the, or hear the notification. I could fix that before we get started. Should I fix that? I'm not gonna fix that. Maybe later. Hello, Renzer. Welcome to the stream. Zorelia says, can you please check out my website? So I have links turned off, but is it like a portfolio website you'd like me to review or something like that? If it is, maybe put the name of the URL without actually putting the URL, then maybe I'll go to it. But yeah. Hello, Sandeep. Welcome. Amato is asking, do you know any way we can extract metadata of a file using JavaScript? It's definitely possible, but it depends on, I guess, the type of file. Maybe you can expand on that, Amato. Like, what kinds of files do you want to extract metadata for? Raphael says, cool. So I was wondering, I've done a lot of code katas and leak code, easy, but never took an algorithms class, not a CS student. Do I need to take one online for interviews? It depends. Like if you're applying for a software engineering job or a job where typically they only hire computer science grads, then you should probably be familiar with algorithms because that's the kind of questions they'll ask in an interview. It's interesting though because I mean, the reason they ask those kind of questions is because that's the kind of things that computer science graduates know, and that's because what they've been learning in school. It's not necessarily what you're going to be doing on the job. So yeah, it depends on the job, but oh, what just happened? Alt-Z? There we go. It depends on the job that you're applying to, but I always say it doesn't hurt to know like data structures and algorithms. And there are plenty of free resources online for learning about data structures and algorithms. And this was from Raphael. Let's see if we can find some. JavaScript data structures. There's just like free, or I mean, yeah, free, but someone set up like a GitHub repo with like really good descriptions and examples of data structures and algorithms in JavaScript. Let's see if I can find it. I mean, like as you're seeing in my search results, there are like a ton of stuffs. I mean, this article just talks about the main data structures. Yeah. JavaScript algorithms. This looks very decent. Yeah, I'm gonna suggest this. And then of course there are what do you call it? I don't know, Udemy courses or other things like that. But like I said, there's a lot of free resources. So my answer to the question is depends on the job you're applying to, and also it doesn't hurt to know those kind of things. So there's that. Raul is saying, people always talk about contributing to open source. However, it seems so intimidating. All I think of is what if I contribute buggy code that doesn't work? Do you need to be at a certain level? Absolutely not. So I don't know if you saw, but I did do a stream maybe a month or so ago where I showed you how to contribute to an open source project. So if you go to this URL, coding.garden/videos, and then just search for open source. Yeah, this is the one. How to contribute to open source projects. And then I showed a live example. It was like a 3-hour stream because, and it does have timestamps. So I walked through like, first you got to find a project, then you got to familiarize yourself with the project. You should read the code of conduct. You should read the README. Read the contribution guides, and then you need to get set up locally, and then you need to make a comment on the issue. So I kind of went through what the process would be in this live stream. But to your question, do you need to be at a certain level? Absolutely not. And especially, this is actually perfect timing because it's Hacktober. It is a Hacktoberfest? Hacktober? That's a thing, right? Yeah, Hacktoberfest. So this is I guess it's put on by DigitalOcean, and is that dev.to? But essentially, I think if you open 4 pull requests that are labeled as Hacktoberfest, you'll get a free t-shirt. Where are the rules? Details. If you're new to open source, take a look at our introduction to open source. So yeah, check out this. I mean, I'm sure they have lots of great info on contributing as well. But I guess just as an example, do they have a list of, yeah, awesome for beginners? Yes, cool. And so people have put together projects like this. So this is just a GitHub page called Awesome for Beginners, and they have just a bunch of projects where it's fairly easy for beginners to contribute and get going on a project like this. So you can definitely check this out. Oh, Brooks says any pull request works. That's good. I didn't plan on participating. Oh my goodness, I've got a super chat. Super chat from Matthias, who says, "Thank you for all your awesome videos." I appreciate that, Matthias. And it did pop up on my screen. Yeah, so check out Awesome for Beginners. So, I mean, I guess if you're watching this stream, you're probably interested in JavaScript. But you can see here are a bunch of projects that have been labeled as good for beginners. The other thing is if you come across a repo, and let's just use the P5JS one as an example. P5JS web editor. We'll find the Git repo for it. This one. So if you go to a project and you clicked on issues, typically you can filter, and a lot of times they have something like good first issue. It might be called something different on different projects, but if it's a larger project and they are open to beginners and anyone contributing, typically they'll label the issues as like good first issue or good for beginners. Some places have started labeling things as Hacktoberfest. So if you see issues like this, absolutely give them a try because, yeah. And to your question, like, yes, it's intimidating, but the worst thing that's going to happen is someone will just deny your pull request. And that's not a bad thing because you got the experience of trying to fix a bug and then submitting a pull request. And if it's a good project, they'll probably comment and say why they're not accepting the pull request, or they'll maybe give you suggestions for what you can do so that they will accept the pull request. So to this question, I will just say, I know it seems intimidating, but really just do it because it can't hurt. Like there's literally no way where you can break anything because of the way pull requests and forking works. And there are a lot of projects out there that market themselves as good for beginners and good for people to get their feet wet with open source. So that's my answer to that. Oh, Brooks mentioned in terms of data structures and algorithms, grokking algorithms. Yeah, I've heard of that book. Have not read it, but I've heard good things. This one. Is this no, this isn't JavaScript specific, but it is it's general. So that's another cool one to check out. Yep, that's Brooks Builds. Okay, good luck, Brooks. Good luck with the stand-up. But I think Brooks is saying any pull request for Hacktoberfest will work. You just have to sign up. So if you sign up on the Hacktoberfest website, once you've opened 4 pull requests, I think they'll send you a T-shirt. Yeah, I'm not gonna do it. Should I do it? I'm not gonna do it. Oh yeah, and I'll share the link to this nice little search tool. You can look at and search across other videos I've done, like videos on React or videos on Vue and stuff like that. Did I share that? I might have already shared that. Can't hurt to share it again. Cool. Yeah, and typically on the show, I do try to browse the news, but lately it's kind of just turned into a questions and answer stream, which is totally fine because we get really awesome topics like data structures and algorithms and contributing to open source. So yeah. Hello, Ali. It has been a long time. Welcome. Hello, Alejandro. Good morning. Hello, Episteme. Welcome. Hello, Miku. Infia saying, I've officially replaced JavaScript with C# in my workflow, and it is such an improvement, to be honest. Well, that's just like your opinion, man. That's cool. I did the opposite. So I did C# for a long time and then got into the JavaScript world. It's a different way of doing things. Yeah, can't argue with you there. I'm glad you like C#. Amato was saying PDF and Microsoft Office files metadata. Okay, so the question is, can we use JavaScript to extract metadata from files like this? And hello, Alka. Welcome. Answer, I don't know. I would kind of just search for it. So like JavaScript PDF metadata extract. Good morning, ATD. Welcome to the stream. See you over there. Yeah, there's a PDF parse. I've seen a library for extracting EXIF data from images, so that's possible too. I think ultimately, you potentially could just use the file reader API, and then at that point, it's just binary data, and then you could look into the specification of the file and determine how to extract metadata like that. This is my break timer. Let's take a sip of tea. Oh, that's good tea. I forgot I had this. Yeah, so I mean that's kind of where my mind is going. So there's the JavaScript file reader API, and I mean if you're doing this in the browser, it might be a little bit trickier because you have to literally load that entire file into memory. But file reader.result returns the file's contents. This property is only valid after the read operation is complete. So once you have the contents, then you could do read as text if you know it's just like a text file, read as binary string. So this contains the raw binary data in a string format. And then you could use that binary data to somehow interpret it and figure out the metadata. At least that's the path that my mind is going down. And this is if you're using the web browser. If you're using node.js, you have access. I mean, you can just use FS, the FS module, and then again, extract some information about it. So I know that's not a super specific answer, but my answer is it's probably possible because you can read files in JavaScript. Gabriel is asking, what is the best framework for mobile development using Vue.js? I will just say, I will give you options and then maybe tell you my opinions on them because I don't have a lot of experience with them. But I will tell you what I know is out there. So there is NativeScript Vue. So NativeScript is a platform where you can write mobile applications with JavaScript, and it's similar to React Native in that it's not a hybrid mobile solution. There's actually a JavaScript bridge that's running on the device itself, and you have native UI elements, very similar to React Native, but NativeScript was JavaScript based, but they have plugins for using Vue or for using Angular. So in my research of these kind of things, NativeScript Vue seems nice. The only thing is it's fairly new. I think at this point it's probably about a year old, so that the ecosystem isn't very mature. So you might run into issues and maybe might be a little bit harder to find an answer to your problems. But I think if I had to choose, I might choose this. But let me show you some other options. So there's also a Vue Native. Vue Native is essentially written on top of React Native. And so someone had written a library that allows you to use Vue components inside of React, and then this person took that library and adapted it for React Native. So on the surface, this looks really awesome because you can just use straight single file components with Vue.js, and this will get essentially turned into React components, which gets turned into a React Native app. The Coding Garden community is building a mobile app, and we looked into this a while back, and when we looked into it, it hadn't had an update on the Git repo in like close to a year. Now it's active again. You can see the last commit was 17 days ago. One of the issues whenever we were looking into this was it didn't support the latest React Native version or the latest Expo version. Now, since they've been doing updates, it is supported out of the box with the latest Expo and the latest React Native. So if I had to choose a project today, I might actually choose this. The only issue is in the future, if you do want to upgrade to the latest React Native and the latest Expo CLI, you may run into issues if they haven't supported it yet. And I think that's really the nature of all of these of tools like this, where it's essentially just a wrapper on top of React Native, and if they don't ever update to use the latest React Native, then you're kind of stuck on an older version. But this one is pretty sweet. And the other thing that I like about this is the same team created native base components. And these are cross-platform UI components that you can use with React Native and also with Vue Native. So if we just check out their docs, look at their components, let's look at a button. And so you can see inside of your, in this case, they're using React Native. Inside your React Native app, you get access to all these components, and then you can use them just like you would any other component library, but this works with React Native. And it comes with built-in support for device theming. So you could build one app, and on iOS, it'll look iOS native, and on Android, it will look Android native with like the material theme, and this is like the Cupertino theme. But you can use native base with Vue Native, which is pretty sweet. Yeah, so check that out. And then the other thing I think is Weeks, which comes from Alibaba. Is it Weeks? Let me see. Alibaba Native Vue. Weeks. Yeah, okay, maybe it is Weeks. You know, DuckDuckGo, these results are not very good. Like, is this it? Weeks is a framework for building performant mobile apps with modern web technology. Yeah, so this was actually one of the first, this is probably the most mature ecosystem because they've been around for a very long time. This comes from the company Alibaba, and they use Vue, but then they built this framework for building native mobile applications. I've never even tried it, but in terms of ecosystem, this one is probably the most mature. So you can check out this one too. And other options would be something. So these three options are native bridge mobile. So you get a native app with native UI elements, but you write it with JavaScript, and these platforms have some sort of JavaScript bridge that allows that JavaScript code to create native UI elements or to do native things on that device. So that's one category of mobile apps. The other category would be hybrid mobile. And that's where you essentially have a web app where there's just an embedded web view, and there's also a lot of options for that as well. Alka says, that's Weeks sauce. Yes, it is. Let me just make sure I don't miss some messages. So for hybrid mobile, I know for sure one option is Quasar. And the difference between something like hybrid mobile and native mobile is you're literally running inside of a web, like a web view in the mobile app versus being like a natively compiled native UI element type of app. So Quasar is pretty sweet because it's not only cross-platform mobile like iOS and Android, it's also cross-platform device. So you can take the same code base, build a hybrid mobile app for Android, a hybrid mobile app for iOS, and build an Electron app for cross-platform desktop development. However, like I said, it is hybrid mobile. So if you want to start to access native features of the device, I believe it uses Cordova. Let's see. Can I search for like camera? Using a Cordova plugin. Yeah, so Cordova is a wonderful platform of plugins that allow you to do things in a web view on mobile that are native on that device. And so Quasar lets you tap into all these different plugins. So battery status, camera, device, geolocation, media, vibration. So all of the native things that you would want to do on mobile, you can, not all of, some of, you can do with Cordova. And at the end of the day, you're just building a Vue app. So if you already know Vue.js, and if you look at like their example of like their component code, the other thing about Quasar is they essentially give you a material design component library out of the box, very similar to Vuetify, but it's their own separate library. But if you look at the code, it's just regular Vue code, because at the end of the day, this is a mobile app that's running inside of a web view. So that's one option for hybrid mobile. Another one is called 7 Slim? I don't know. Let's just search for Vue hybrid mobile. We're bound to find something. I feel like it has a 7 or a 5 in the name. Oh, I think I saw it. Oh, Onesen? I don't know. We talked about Quasar. Okay, there's Onesen. I feel like I don't like them. I forget why I don't like them. Do they cost money? But this is potentially another option, and I think they are using, or if it is hybrid mobile, they're potentially using Cordova as well. Yeah, let's use Vue. It looks pretty minimal, so that's one option. Framework 7, that's the one I was thinking of. So this is another hybrid mobile solution, very similar to Quasar in that you are writing just regular plain old Vue, but when it's running on a device, it's running inside of a web view. Yeah, Framework 7 also has a plugin for React if you wanted to use that, but if you look at the Vue, they have a lot of different components. All the components are prefixed with F7. And then if we want to do things native like camera, no results found. Vue component extensions. No. Framework 7 core API. Components, styling, the plugins API. I'm getting all kinds of Twitch followers. Welcome, Twitch people. I'm not paying attention to my notifications. I don't know if something interesting happened on Twitch or not. Would it say it in the messages? There are a lot of people watching on Twitch. Welcome, Twitch. Okay, I don't know. I'm pretty sure you can do native stuff like camera or geolocation with this, but I can't seem to find it in the docs. But it's definitely possible. Let's see. Yeah, we want to link to Vue. So there's that. So you have Quasar, Framework 7, and then at the end of the day, you could just write vanilla Vue, build your own build system that uses Cordova for accessing native elements, and then like build an Android app with a simple web view that imports your assets. Like you could do it from scratch if you wanted to. These just make it a bit easier. Wait, does Vuetify support mobile now? Like, no way. Vuetify is just a component framework. Cordova? Mobile? Yeah, I mean, technically you can build progressive web apps with pretty much any component library and Vue framework, but that's slightly different from a hybrid mobile app, because a hybrid mobile app is going to be literally an app that someone launches on their phone, and it loads up a web view, which loads up your app. Sometimes you can't tell. A lot of times you kind of can tell that it's literally just a web view. So that's one thing. And then the other option is just progressive web app, PWA. And this is essentially you use the features of modern web browsers to do things like allowing users to be offline and still use the app, doing things like push notifications. Browsers have APIs for camera, for geolocation, for even like device status, and I'm pretty sure you can get like battery information and stuff like that. So if your users are using the latest browsers, there are a lot of features of the browsers that you can use, and so you literally just push your app up to some sort of static file storage, and when people load your app on a phone or in a browser, it'll tap into all of these various features to give them offline access or device access, and that's known as a progressive web app. The interesting thing about that is in the Google Play Store, you actually can publish a progressive web app to the Play Store. I don't think you can do that to the Apple Store. Yeah, so that's a thing. Yeah, this article has mixed component frameworks and like hybrid mobile frameworks. Here's a nice infographic which can help you choose between hybrid or native. We talked about Runson, Quasar, Framework 7. Yeah, that's the majority of them. I'm sure there are a lot of others out there. These are just the ones that I know. Okay, so if you're doing native, you get absolutely all of the device features. But if you're building it for iOS, you would either have to use Swift or Objective-C. Does anybody use Objective-C anymore? They probably all just use Swift. You'd have to use Swift, and then for Android, you'd have to use either Java or Flutter or whatever their other language is that replaced Java as the main language. I forget what it is, but you would have 2 separate code bases, one for each platform. You get all the device features. Development costs, I guess in their scale here, lesser is worse because your development cost is like twice as much or 3 times as much if you're also building, I don't know, does BlackBerry exist anymore? Does Windows Phone exist anymore? I'm not in touch with things. I just use what I know. But if you were trying to build for all of those different platforms, you would have a separate code base and a totally separate development time for each one. But at the end of the day, and this is why a lot of people choose to use it, is you're getting that native UI. Like, it's a native experience. People don't feel like they're being cheated. Like, it's not a slow app. So yeah, for hybrid, it has 5. This infographic is not that great. Use that infographic at your own, what's the word? Caution? I don't know. But there are a lot of options. If I had to choose right now, I would probably choose Vue Native, and that's really just hoping that they keep their library up to date with the latest React Native CLI and the latest Expo CLI. So that would be my choice. But like I said, you do run the risk of in the future, if you want to upgrade, they may not have upgraded. I don't know. I talked about that for a very long time. Let's keep moving, and also let's catch up on the chat. Alka saying array buffer for the typed array, basically a buffer in Node. Yeah, so instead of that string of binary string, you would use array buffer. Yeah. Hello, Steven89. ATD is asking, been meaning to ask, do you have any preferred CSS and JS libraries? It's a very opinionated topic, but I really found working with Emotion to be nice. It's very performant, supports Babel macros, and is similar to the Style Components API. That is okay for the long message, ATD. I do have a preferred one, and I seem to just keep reaching for it every time I need styles in my React app. And what I like about it now is that it has built-in hooks for automatically creating a style sheet instead of having to use a higher order component like with styles. So my preferred is CSS and JS. It's literally called that. And then they have a React plugin that's built by this team as well. Let's look at React JSS. So they support more complex styling, like hover states, and kind of like nested styling, similar to what you would do like in Sass. They support media queries, and it's all that similar syntax that you would be used to. And there's been a lot of debate of like when I'm doing styles in React, like should I use like an object style syntax, or should I use styled components, which allows you to use just the plain old CSS syntax? So if we look at Emotion, I can't just search for Emotion CSS. If I search for Emotion, we're gonna get like sad pictures and stuff. Cool. So with Emotion, when you're writing your styles, and they're showing that similar, like if you want a hover state on this given class, it's a very similar syntax. Except for not inside of an object, so it's a little bit simpler. But the syntax itself is just CSS, right? There's no special things aren't camel case. Like this looks like CSS, whereas CSS in JS is a JavaScript object. So it's kind of like two different ways to do it. Personally, and this is just personal, I know a lot of people that don't like this, but I like the object syntax. I like the fact that this code is now has to use the same linter rules, has to use the same prettier formatting, has to, and if I have like commit hooks where before committing it runs the linter, that linter is going to catch any style errors in here as well. You can get plugins for whatever editor you're using to get autocomplete whenever you're working in a style like this, or working in an object where you're using styles. So yeah, I do like this, and I'll show you the hook thing. So here you import create use styles. Typically in a separate file, I would define the styles for the given component that I'm styling. You invoke create use styles and pass in the object, and then you export use styles. And use styles itself is a function. And then inside of your component, it's now just a hook, a custom hook. So you say classes equals use styles, and then you have access to all the classes that it generates. So this is my preferred. Like I said, I know a lot of people that don't like this. They don't like the object syntax. They prefer to do like a CSS template string thing. And I get that. Again, it's just opinion, it's just preference. Let me see, did I answer your question? Yeah, so that's my preferred. And I mean, I will say, so I use Material UI for a very long time. I'm trying to get away from it though. The more and more I use it, the less and less I like it. But Material UI has a theming system built in. Let's look at system components. I don't know how to get to it, but under the hood, Material UI is using CSS and JS, this specific library. So now that I'm not using Material UI as much, I usually just reach directly for this library. And again, it's just opinion. I know a lot of people hate this. I know a lot of people do like Emotion, but I do prefer this. Yeah. Oh, there we go. Pixel Logic Dev rated me. Okay, I was wondering, like, why are so many people watching? Welcome, everyone from Pixel Logic Dev. Rest in peace, the bun. Are we talking about the bun on my head? I appreciate that, Pixel Logic Dev. Yeah, I'm totally new to streaming on Twitch, so, like, I don't have my alerts in line. I'm streaming on YouTube and Twitch, so, like, I've got the YouTube chat going over here. I'm figuring things out. Bun, rip the bun. Oh, that's great. Thank you. Welcome. Yeah, it took me. I apologize. Somebody had asked a question about like hybrid mobile development, and yeah. Welcome everyone. Welcome. Yeah, Brooke says I'm new to Twitch. Cool. Get on Twitch. Do we need to go to YouTube and bully that? Is that where all these extra chats came in? Did you guys raid the YouTube chat too? Yeah, I appreciate you all. Thanks for sticking around. Yeah, I need some sort of notification thing. I don't know. And the thing is, in 7 minutes I have to go because I have a stand-up meeting. But I think I'm just gonna pause the stream and then I'll come back and stream for another 30 minutes or so after that. Yeah, I did see the viewer count jump because I have a status right there and it jumped up to like 35. Welcome everyone. Sorry it was like a little anticlimactic when you all got here because I didn't realize that it happened. Okay. Hello, Bouzine. Welcome to the stream. Alicia is asking, when am I going to cover Big O? I need a CJ way of understanding because most teachers don't do a great job with it. This is a great question because I have said that like eventually I'm going to talk about Big O. I don't know what I need to do is I need some sort of like commitment device. I need like a schedule with a time and with a scheduled live stream on YouTube. And it says I'm going to cover a topic on a specific day because if I don't do that, then I forget and it just goes behind. But I definitely want to because like when I used to teach, I taught about Big O and it was a very beginner-friendly Big O. Kind of like a what do you need to know to do well in interviews Big O. So yes. I do have a repo called Landscaping. And again, I haven't touched this in a while, but when I created it, the idea was people could submit ideas here for streams and different topics that I could cover. Big O. And Big O is not on there. So if you want to add it there, you can add it there and I'll remember to get to it, but you're right. I should do it and maybe soon. Joe is saying, hi, CJ, I'm starting on a Vue project with Node and they're using Dockers. Can you please do one stream on Vue Node Express using Docker this weekend? That would actually be really fun because I have said I want to do a show on Docker. But here we go. Like more people are asking for stuff, but I think these these two topics, Big O, Docker, this is stuff that I have wanted to cover. So I'll make a note of it, and I'll stream for like 24 hours tomorrow. Maybe, probably not, but. Imphy is saying Vue Native is decent and React Native compatible. Cool. Can I do another project on Svelte? Probably eventually. Maybe I'll do like a Svelte course. I know that Level Up tutorials on YouTube and from the Syntax podcast, Scott Tilinsky, he is going to be releasing a Svelte course. So you should probably check that out. Michael says, JS has taken over my life from C#, and I have 3 active JavaScript projects. Oh, I think Imphy went the reverse route, right? I think Imphy was in JavaScript and now he's in C#. I don't know. Alicia says, love that open source stream. You should make that a series. Maybe we should have like open source Fridays or open source Wednesdays or something like that. Hello, Matcha. Welcome. Thanks again for the super chat, Matthias. Sandeep is saying, what do you think about code sharing between web and mobile? Like React and React Native or Angular and Ionic? I've been working on something like this and want to know if it's useful. I think this is the ultimate goal, honestly, is like code reuse, and why a lot of these hybrid mobile and like native frameworks exist, because you can share code. So I like it. I've never really done it. I mean, I've built like basic React Native apps, and a while back there were some hybrid mobile frameworks. I forget what they were called, but it was using Cordova under the hood. And I've done Ionic before they started using the latest Angular. So I've done those, and it's nice that you can share code, but sharing code between those native apps and web, I haven't done that, but that's like the ultimate goal. If you look at Flutter, I know Flutter isn't like web technology, but they do have Flutter for web, so you can use pretty much, I guess, most of the same code for mobile apps and for web apps. There's also React Native Web, and React Native Web allows you to use like your React components, like render functions, on the web. So that's the thing. And yes, so my thought on it is amazing, and if you can do it, that's great, because you now have to write less code. Another potential way that you could do it is if you don't use, so let's say you're doing React Native, and you don't use React Native Web, there could be certain pieces of your app that you do share, like you share the business logic. So you could create a Redux store, you could create actions, you could create action types, all as like a separate module, and then you could use that module in both your React Native app and your React Web app. You would potentially have to custom write the UI for both platforms, but you do get to share that business logic. But yeah, I've never done it. I've always wanted to, and yes, it's extremely useful because you get a ton of code reuse. So cool. All right, I've got 2 minutes, and then I gotta go to stand up, and then I'll be right back. Kotlin, yeah. So earlier I was mentioning like what's the thing that Android is using now? Yes, it's Kotlin. Thank you, Rar. Okay. See you later, Pixel Logic, and thanks for the raid. That was great. Hello, Asoma. I'm good. There's a lot of chat to get. There is, yeah. Unruly says, I played with Vue Native and experienced a lot of issues in setting up. I had to hack it to get it to work. Yeah, the latest version, I think, is a little bit better. I don't know for sure. Yeah. Well, yeah, so someone opened a pull request to integrate Twitch chat into my chat manager over here, but they just did the UI. They haven't done the backend work yet, so it's not accepted just yet. Cool. Emotion has a theming module too. It's very bare bones. Okay, yeah. Hello, Ermo. My opinion on Flutter, I think it's awesome. I haven't like built an app with it yet, but just looking at the docs, looking at some sample apps, I think it's great, and I do want to build some apps with it. Okay, I need to go to stand up, but I'll be back in maybe like 10 or 15 minutes. So I'm just gonna I'm gonna put on some elevator music, I'll be back. I'm gonna try to get through these 100 chat messages. I'm sure half of them are just people from the raid, probably. Maybe, I don't know. We'll get back to it, but I'll be back in maybe 10 minutes or so. So just hang out, be nice to each other, and I'll be back soon. Hello again. I was gone for a very long time. That was a longer stand up than it should have been, but I'm back. There are a ton of chats. Let's catch up. Um, yes. Let me see if there. Yeah, there's not much new Twitch stuff going on. Mm. Prankster, that's weird. He streamed for like an hour and hasn't shown any API keys. Yeah, so if you've seen my stream before, a lot of times I accidentally reveal my API keys, which is not a good thing, but it's always a nice laugh. Yeah, and Infi did go the opposite way. So they were doing a lot of JavaScript. Now they're doing C#, and it's a whole different world. You got static types. You potentially could do memory management if you wanted to. It is garbage collected, but you can go lower level if you want to. Yeah. Hello, Alex from the Dominican Republic. Welcome. I don't speak Spanish. I know a few words, but I do have a developer friend who does speak Spanish. So I'm thinking he's out of town right now, but eventually when he's back in town, we'll do like a pairing stream, but we'll try to do the whole episode in Spanish, which will be really fun. So look forward to that. Probably in like 2 or 3 weeks. Oh, Nancy effects. Yeah, so that's a .NET library for using C# to make lightweight APIs. Yeah, so it's inspired by Sinatra, which is a Ruby thing, and Sinatra inspired Express. So yeah, if I were to build an API with C#, I would probably start here. Raul says, thanks. I think that was the open source question that Raul asked. I didn't paste it. Yeah. You're welcome, Raul. Hello, Programming with Peter. I just can't believe this. Finally, a good hour stream for me. Yeah, that's why I didn't get really good sleep last night, but I wanted to stream today because I know people on the other side of the world can tune in at this time. So, Alex is saying I'm still working with the first video of the full stack app with feathers. Cool. My times have really improved. I'm trying my best. Yeah. So like mornings are definitely good. Weekends, it's easier for me to do mornings. Like right now, I'm looking at my work Slack, making sure nothing's coming in, but I am working from home today. So Alex is saying got the same problem with Google OAuth. Okay. I think I fixed it in the first episode, I believe. In the Maps app? Or are you saying same problem with GitHub auth? I don't know. So I got a lot of things I still need to do. So I need to do one more video where I finish up and build the front end for the chat app, and that's part of the Feathers guide. So I need to do that. And then I'm also working on at the same time this Feathers React app. And we did get Google OAuth working on there. So yeah. Do it. I don't know what this was in reference. This was earlier. People were saying do it. I don't know what it was in reference to. Hello, Michael. It's 4 p.m. there. That's great. This is a great time. Yeah. Hey, Ron. Welcome. Miku says, please check out my website at miccollage.dk. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. I am going to turn on my VPN so that if you have some sort of network logger listening, you're not going to see my IP address. And though technically, since you shared it in the chat, then a lot of people might have actually seen it, and then now you have a bunch of IP addresses in your logs. But here we go. Okay, so we're going to try the website. We're going to open up a private tab. It's hacker mode. Not really, but see what we get. I probably should have hidden my screen, but it's just a portfolio website, so that's awesome. So this is Mccollage's website. They are a YouTuber. And what else? I missed the first thing that it said, but cool. So feedback, happy customers, responsive design. The work tab has all of their projects. Cool. I like the fact that you kind of have your own theming. Like it almost looks like it's material design, but you do have your own color scheme. So you're using like this nice red. I really like that. Here's your about me. It's cool. Hello, Nikolai. There's a contact form. And then you have a YouTube channel, so we can check that out. Cool. All right, I'm going to view the source of the web page. So we're pulling in some CDNs. Cool, some like styles. Yeah, it looks like you might have just coded this with straight like HTML, CSS, JavaScript. Because yeah, I don't see any references to like a jQuery or a React or anything like that. Is there a vendor? Is there a .js? Yeah, you have type it. Cool. Yeah, it's very clean. And if we look at work, is this also just like a static page? Yeah, it is. These classes, deflex, justify content right. Are these your own custom classes, or are you using like a CSS library? Let's look at your styles. Cool. Respect. So it looks like you're not really using any build tools or anything like that, but it's a decent looking website. You get all your work. I approve. Though I've seen people do this on their portfolios where they have percentages for certain technologies. What happens when I click view? Oh, okay. So this percentage is in reference to a plural site. This is a plural site, right? Okay, so that makes sense then. Because a lot of times people will put like, I know 60% HTML. Like, what does that mean? But I see. So these are actual links to your plural site IQ for that given thing. That's pretty cool. So an employer can actually see this plural site as a reputable company. They have some checks in place so you can't like retake the test or cheat it, and mostly. So that's pretty sweet. And you have, yeah, certs. I approve. Thanks for sharing. Alex is saying, can I build something with Rust? Potentially. And Brooks is going to be on the show on Sunday. I need to schedule that stream, but Brooks is going to be on Sunday, and he does lots of streams with Rust. So check out Brooks Builds. If you haven't. There he is. He's almost at 700 subscribers, so at least 3 of you watching should subscribe so we can get to 700. But he's been doing Nature of Code with Rust, which is pretty sweet. This morning he was doing a live stream where he was doing like orbit of planets, and he streams on Twitch as Brooks Zerker. So check him out. Right, just a second. Just messaging people. Good book for data structures and algorithms in JavaScript. I'll be honest, I don't read a lot of books. But I'm pretty sure there's one but it's published by O'Reilly. Let's go to Amazon. JavaScript data structures and algorithms. I thought O'Reilly, yeah, this one. It's published by O'Reilly. It's by Michael McMillan. I believe this is a fairly thin book. I feel like I've seen it. Let's see how many pages it is. 252 pages. I guess that's a decent sized book. But I haven't read it. I've heard good things about it. You can check that one out. Oh no. Oh no, I lost all my chats. What happened? There we go. Okay. Ricky made it. Welcome, Ricky. Pranjal is asking, how does your website coding, I think you meant .videos, know about new videos on your YouTube channel? So I actually made this website on stream a while back. So yeah, if you go to coding.garden/videos, this actually pulls from the YouTube API. So when this page loads, it hits the YouTube API. Well, it hits my backend server, which talks to the YouTube API to list all of my videos, and then those get listed on the front end here. But if you look at this video, build a YouTube API proxy with Node, Express, and with vanilla JavaScript. In that video, I build this very website that you're looking at. So I show you how I built a backend Express app that calls the YouTube API, gets a list of all the videos, and then that will serve it up to the front end. I build like a basic version of the site there, and then I've tweaked the styles since then and like added filtering here so you can click like view and see all the videos I did on view. That's not in the video, but the basics of talking to the YouTube API are in that video, so check it out. Cool. Oh, Raphael says, your break timers changed my life. I use them during presentations and everyone stretches. Yeah, this is definitely a crowd pleaser. And now it's almost become like a CJ meme. Like whenever I'm giving a meetup talk or something like that, and people that have seen my talks before or seen my YouTube channel, when they see the break timer come up, they'll like cheer and applause. It's funny. But yeah, it's a good thing. Yeah. Graphics magic on Node, read PDF metadata as well as image files, but I'm sure it doesn't run on the client. Yeah, it would probably need to be like in Node native or something like that. Hello, Cassandra, welcome. Native script is the best option at the moment, but yes, unfortunately, it's not mature enough. Yeah. Pranjal is saying, I'm not getting bullet points when I add a UL tag inside an LI and dynamically using JavaScript. Or do you mean an LI inside of a UL? I would look at your CSS styles because it's possible for some CSS style sheet to turn off the list styling. So list style square is, I think, the default. But if you have list style none, then they'll disappear. So you might want to check and make sure that no other CSS you have on the page is overriding that property. Yeah. Hello, Charles from Sri Lanka. Welcome. Vue Native is great, but support for notched Android phones is really meh. I could see it. Yeah, Quasar is hybrid mobile, and I did mention that a little bit earlier. Hello, Sujan from Nepal. Thank you. Hit that like button, folks. Let CJ get more views so he can take over the world. Yeah, I never ask you to subscribe. I never ask you to click the like button. But if you want to, if that's a thing that you do when you're watching YouTube, feel free. Hello, Alana. Welcome. Weeks has been transferred to the Apache Foundation. Yeah, but it was founded by Alibaba. But yeah, now it's totally open source under Apache, so that's cool. Episteme is asking, is there a best practice for how you would include your own vanilla JS library into a Vue app, and specifically a Vue? Not exactly. I mean, you can just write the JavaScript file, and then if you're using the Vue CLI, you have Babel, so you have access to like import export. So from that file, export it, and then in the component, import it. And if it's just JavaScript, like utility functions, you can call those functions directly. And then similarly, like if it's a public library or something you want to share to the world, you could take that vanilla JS library, push it to npm install it in your project, and then just import it in and use the functions. As far as I know, that is the best practice. There's nothing more to it than that. Hello, Edwin. Good morning from, I guess, the other side of the world. Yeah, and programming with Peter got it. You just import export it. There's React Native Desktop too. Yes. There's also this thing called Proton, which is React, but for building desktop applications using lib UI, which is like native apps, not Electron. It's like native desktop UI elements. Yeah, Proton native. There you go. Finally, you made it. I think Onesen is a jQuery wrapper for each framework. Yeah, Onesen just seems so old. I feel like I used it or heard about it a very long time ago. She is asking, what's your favorite framework these days? I really like Vue.js. Just a second. That's my break timer. Everyone cheer and applause. Emojis in the chat. And if you can't tell, I am 80 messages behind, so I'm gonna try to get through these messages, and then I'll end the stream. Yeah. Brooksugar is saying, try to keep my team stand up less than 10 minutes. I do too, but I was not in control of this stand up. It's with a company that we're contracting with, and it's their stand up, so you know they have their own processes. Hello, Calentine. You need a Rust emote. Yes, I agree. Yes. Thor says, can personally vouch for Quasar. Started with 0 programming and UI experience 6 months ago and just released a major platform project to a payment company they love. Easy Quasar. Cool. And like we mentioned, it is a hybrid mobile solution, so your mobile apps will be running a web view with the app inside of it. However, if you're not doing like super native things, or you're not doing anything that would make the UI slow, it'll work just fine. And look at Thor; they did it. If Thor did it, you can do it too. Yeah, so we're basically talking about how to use that vanilla library in your Vue app. I wouldn't put it on a component. I would just import it wherever you need it. If it does belong to a component, you got a whole different situation there. But if it's literally just like some functions you need to call, you can't just import it. Oh, and you're using Hasura, so you're using GraphQL on Postgres? That's awesome. Yeah, so extract it to a simple function, use the function. We got it. Thor learned by the University of Stack Overflow with Night School on YouTube. Is this a joke or is this a real thing? I mean, I feel like some people would say this just because they Google and find things on Stack Overflow. Yeah. So they just they found answers on Stack Overflow. No worries, programming with Peter. We'll see you later. Did not have any programmer friends to bounce questions off either. Yeah, that's tough. But if you are in the Coding Garden community, you can ask in the Discord. Yeah. Future is wide open. Hello, Winkin Droid from Algeria. Welcome. Yeah, Reddit's pretty useful too. I agree. Cassandra is saying, is it bad to want to just roll the CSS yourself? No, not at all. The only thing is, like, it takes more development time, and if you don't have an eye for design, you could end up building something that looks really weird. Not saying that you're going to, but it's a possibility if you're not using an existing CSS framework. But absolutely, it's not bad at all. Cananello who says hello from SA, South Africa, I think. I'm watching using a 58 kilobyte dial-up modem. It's 1947 here. I love your show. That is amazing. Hopefully it's not buffering too much. So I did actually enable low latency today. This is the first time I've ever done it. And there's a possibility for people on slower connections that you might get some buffering. But that is fantastic. Let me know, Cananello. Is it working okay? That's awesome. Knee deep with Vue, Cloud Functions, and Mongo. Had to go this route with a project and a couple of kids who could not deliver and wanted 50% of my company. Sometimes you just gotta do it yourself. That's the way. Raul is saying styled components is my jam. So using things like Emotion, or there are other styled components libraries too. Yeah, Tailwind is interesting. I've tried it once. I like the fact that it's just a very minimal CSS classes. What I don't like, and there's probably a way around this or some sort of build tool, where your code ends up looking like this, where every element has tons and tons of class names on it. It would be really cool, and maybe it exists, if there was some sort of build process where when you build, it takes all of these CSS classes and their underlying properties and turns it into a reusable class that's reused throughout your app anywhere else this collection of classes is used. Because this is the one thing I don't like about it. You end up with a ton of classes on every element. However, looking at this code right here, this is all it took to make this little card here, because they're using I don't know the exact name, but it's kind of like atomic CSS, because every single style is literally just specifying like one CSS property, and then you have a bunch of classes that all specify like an individual CSS property. So it's pretty sweet, but yeah. Alibaba Cloud, interesting. I guess I'm not familiar. Like Alibaba is it a Chinese company? But Alibaba Cloud, I'm guessing, is like AWS. That's super cool. Yeah. Oh wow, Thor's doing some serious stuff, and he built it himself. Quasar is pretty much Vue with their own components. We'll adopt Quasar directives, no problem. Yeah. Ooh, and it has to be PCI compliant. That's a lot, Thor. Hello, Matthias. Great, finally made it to the live stream. Thanks, CJ, for the cool stuff you are teaching us. You're very welcome, and welcome. Talking about forms. Vote for Big O tutorial. Yeah, maybe I'll do that tomorrow or something. That'll be fun. I don't know. I got a lot to do. There's a lot on my to-do list. El Toro. I can't roll my R's. El Toro. I used to work at a Mexican restaurant, and they all made fun of me because I couldn't roll my R's. Flutter. Ionic components for an Angular website. So I guess, does Ionic give you a way of doing native and web with the same code base? Platform. Framework. Because I know Ionic is a hybrid mobile platform using Angular. So this would be comparable to something like Quasar. But do they also provide the option of building for the web? Publishing as a progressive web app. Hey, that's pretty cool. That's what you would need to do. Nice. So who's coding in 100% native anymore? People are. So my company, not my company, the company I work at is a consultancy, and we do mobile apps and we do full stack apps. But a lot of times the client does want a mobile app, or a native app. They want that native experience, and they're willing to pay for the extra development. And so we have a dedicated Android developer, and then we contract out for iOS developers. But yeah, they code in native code. Brandon is saying, on the latest syntax podcast, the guy who made the missive email client said he used Cordova to do native apps with the same code. Yeah, it's definitely possible. Like, you potentially have to wrap the Cordova stuff in like if statements, like if I'm running on a native device, do this, do that, and then package it up in a web view. But yeah. Kotlin versus Java. Hello, Joey. Kotlin seemed interesting. I'm now more interested in Flutter, though. So, I know that like Flutter renders to a canvas. I'm curious about Kotlin because it is native dev, and I guess it's the new replacement for Java when you're developing native Android apps. But why wouldn't you use Flutter? Because potentially Kotlin doesn't render to a canvas, like it is native UI elements. I don't know. I think Kotlin actually does have cross-platform development as well, though. Hello, Shatan, who says it's 9:14 p.m. in Kathmandu. Welcome. Swift versus Objective-C. Swift all day long. I coded in Objective-C. So back in 2009, when the iPad was first released, I was working on a dev team at my university for building like a newsreader app for our college, and I wrote the whole thing in Objective-C because that's all that existed back then. And Objective-C is weird and horrible, and there's like this message passing thing, and there's brackets everywhere and strings everywhere. It's horrible. And now Swift is a lot better. I mean, it's more C-like than Objective-C, ironically. And most people starting an iOS app these days use Swift. Like, yeah. Hello, Yuvaraj. Sorry. Welcome. The simplicity and freedom in JavaScript is what got me into coding. I mean, that's what keeps me coding, is the simplicity. Yeah. Raul is asking, what is stand-up? This is a good question. So, I mean, depending on the type of team you're on, and a lot of times people will call this stand-up, but it's not necessarily stand-up, but a lot of times on agile teams or scrum teams, you typically start every day with a short, no longer than 10-minute meeting where everyone's standing in a circle, and you talk about what did you do yesterday, what are you going to do today, and do you have any blockers? There's a Scrum Master typically that makes sure that the conversation keeps flowing, make sure no one goes down any rabbit holes, and make sure that if there is conversation that needs to happen, it happens after stand-up instead of during stand-up. But it's basically a way for the team to have constant communication, and I will say it's not a status update, and it shouldn't. I mean, it kind of is, but it shouldn't just be a way for management to know like what everyone is working on. It's a way for the team to be able to help each other and unblock each other and stay in communication. So I'm working remotely today, so I actually called into the stand-up meeting. But essentially, everyone involved with this project was in the meeting. We're talking about, do we have any blockers, what's going on, that kind of thing. Yeah. Yeah, Noble Savage got it. Yeah, and there's a lot of different ways to do it. Some people do it wrong, but like if you have a good Scrum Master, your stand-up won't last longer than 10 minutes, and everyone will be standing. But like I said, you can kind of do it any way you want. Love Flutter and React. Hey, Spacey, welcome. Good morning, Andreas. Hello, Gabriel from BR. Is that Brazil? Maybe? Can I please do some machine learning videos? Maybe. I got a lot of other stuff on the list to do, but maybe eventually. Maybe I could do a collaboration with Coding Train and do some machine learning stuff. When will I do the map boxing? That's one of the things on my to-do list, and I kind of want to finish that this weekend. So look out for a stream. I'm gonna try to do it tomorrow. Do I know of any great resources that give you best practices for responsive design? Responsive typography, smart breakpoints? No, I've kind of just done it. Yeah, it would be interesting if anyone else knows some good resources for that. Oh, Infi was Brooks' 700th subscriber? Nice. Yeah, let's check out Brooks' builds. 701! Yeah, thanks, everyone. Thanks for subscribing to Brooks. Cool. Flexbox Zombies. Oh, I haven't seen that. I've seen Flexbox Froggy. Yeah, see, I searched for it. Zombies. Is it a full course? Do I have to sign up? I don't want to sign up. But interesting. Check it out. Take a quick stretch. Hello, Sockthebell. Welcome. Trent says, my break timer went off during a presentation with the volume all the way up, and it scared 80% of the class. That's unfortunate. Hello, GameStep. Welcome. Good morning, Greg. Already had 2 cups of coffee. Skipping tea. Cool. Self-improvement is saying, have you ever had problems with your ears like tinnitus? I have not, but I watched a documentary about it, and it kind of scared me because these people hear like a ringing noise all the time. I don't want that to happen. So that's a weird question, but somewhat relevant because I've thought about it lately. But no, I don't have it. Kotlin is pretty much the Java equivalent of CoffeeScript. Oh, interesting. Look at controlling file size entitlement. So this is maybe that thing I was talking about where it combines a set of CSS classes into its own class. Controlling file size. Minify, gzipped, removing unused CSS, setting up purge CSS, writing purgeable HTML. Okay, so it's probably possible. Purge CSS, okay. Scrum Master, yeah. So these are known as like roles in the Scrum framework. I actually did I did some videos about it. If you check out that video list and search for I think just search for Agile. So yeah, if you search for Agile, this is the full live stream. It's like 2 or 3 hours, but I did break it up into separate videos. Yeah, and I did a video on what is Scrum. And in Scrum, there are roles. There's the product owner, there's the dev team, there's the Scrum Master. Yeah, product owner, development team, Scrum Master, and they all have in the Scrum framework certain responsibilities. Yeah. Thoughts on OrientDB? Never heard of it. Hello, Danana J. Multi-model database. The database designed for the modern world. First multimodal database. Fastest graph database. Never heard of it. And honestly, for the apps that I build, I would either stick to a SQL database like Postgres or something like Mongo. I don't know what this provides. If it is a graph database, then that's a totally separate thing. If you're building something that has a lot of interconnected relationships, it might make sense to use this. That said, there are like more well-known graph databases like Neo4j. At least as far as I know, yeah, the leader in graph databases. This is one that I might reach for. Mainly, like, I don't know. What I'm thinking about is this new? Does it have support? That kind of thing. But interesting. So the Scrum Master is just the dev that leads the stand-up meeting. It varies. So I actually like to do it where the devs rotate to become the Scrum Master. That way things stay interesting, and it's not some sort of management role where the developers feel like it's like a micromanagement. But if you have someone from the dev team running the Scrum, then it's very natural and doesn't feel like a status update or something like that. So it could be a dev. Some companies have dedicated Scrum Master roles. So that's another thing. Where's the tea? The tea is over here. Cheers. Hello, Aman. Aman says, just a random question. I've been using Monk but get an error that a get function doesn't exist. Could it be that I didn't start the MongoDB? If you're getting a JavaScript error that like a function doesn't exist, that's more of a JavaScript issue. If it doesn't connect to the database, you should, if you're logging errors, like if you do a catch when you're trying to connect, or do a catch when you're trying to query, it should show you that error, like that connection error. All right, I gotta go. Let's see if there's any new Twitch chats. I realize it's really hard. I should integrate Twitch chat here because I'm forgetting about you all, and I apologize. ATD is saying, I really underestimated how hard good design is and have a huge appreciation for people who are good with UX. Yeah, that said, it's not unattainable, but it does take work. Precelsior is asking, what do I think about the Parse platform? Let's check it out. Parse plus open source. Oh, I've heard of this. Yeah, this is basically like a Firebase replacement, but it's self-hosted, which is super cool because then you're not dependent on Firebase infrastructure or the Firebase company. I mean, it's technically Google, but what if they go out of business? Then all your Firebase databases are dead. So Parse actually gives you like a real-time database and a JavaScript SDK for communicating with it, and you host it on your own server. So I think that's really cool. I haven't used it personally, but one of the older projects at the job that I'm at did use Parse in their project. I think they might have ran into issues where like they needed to upgrade and they hadn't in a while, so they might have ran into issues there. But they have clients for like all the major platforms, so it seems pretty sweet. Maybe I'll do a stream on this in the future. But I like the idea that you're not tied to Google's infrastructure and their pricing model, and you can just pay for some EC2 instances on AWS and host it yourself. So it's pretty sweet. Jill is saying, how is Objective-C even a question against Swift? It might just be for people that have never seen either, but if you can stay away from Objective-C, I would stay away from Objective-C. ADD is saying, I'd really like to see a collab with CJ and Alco one day. That would be great. We should collab. CouchDB? CouchDB is cool. I like CouchDB. Like I said, a lot of these things I haven't used or just read about. But the cool thing about CouchDB, so CouchDB is a NoSQL database, but it has a built-in REST API for interacting with the database. So that's pretty sweet because you could potentially set up a CouchDB and you would have to define all of your security rules like at the database level and inside of the database, but you could technically just hook up a front end to it, which is pretty sweet. And then there's this JavaScript library called PouchDB, and PouchDB will sync in the browser with your CouchDB on the backend. So PouchDB is like a way of getting offline apps working, and they stay in sync with like a backend Couch database. So that's pretty sweet. Oh, cool. Alka says, let's collab. Let's do it. I want to, like, I need to get a stream schedule going because I'm going to have guests on the show. So Brooks is going to be here on Sunday. Eventually, my friend Berto is going to be on. We're going to do something in Spanish. Eventually, my other friend Kim is going to come on and maybe talk about Kubernetes. I had talked to her about that long time ago, but eventually she'll come on. And then I want to do, we could do like remote collabs because I think like Alka's like in Texas. I'm in Denver, but we could do like a screen share. I don't know. We need all the collabs. All right, so I do need to end the stream. I'll finish up these 11 chats. Get your chats in now if you want me to acknowledge them, and then I'll end the stream. Look for extracting components. Oh, for Tailwind? Okay, I'm not going to look at it, but appreciate the suggestions. Eddie is saying, if TypeScript ends up turning JavaScript into C#, would you still use JavaScript or would you switch language? No, I would switch. No, it's like JavaScript was built to be JavaScript. If I wanted to do something like what TypeScript is doing, I would just use a language like C#. I realize you can't necessarily do that on the front end, but yeah, C# existed first. I mean, TypeScript and C# are actually from the same team, or at least the same creator. But I would go with C# because it's built for that versus being something built on top of JavaScript. Are there any free reliable services to send emails from apps? So I use, is it Rocket Mail? That doesn't sound right. No, that's not right. There's definitely SendGrid. So that has at least a developer plan. So you can send up to 40,000 emails a month for free. What is the email service I use? I've talked about it before. Mailgun. Mailgun is the one that I use. And they also have a fairly generous dev plan. No validations. 20,000 emails a month. Well, they used to have a free plan. I don't know if they do anymore. Huh. But yeah. Give OrientDB a good look. It's a solid NoSQL/SQL GraphDB. Yeah, I might check it out. Hey, Josh. NodeMailer in Node.js. Yeah, so NodeMailer is just a straight up NPM package. And it can connect to SMTP servers, which are mail servers. So technically, you could create like a Gmail account, enable password login, and then use those credentials with NodeMailer to send emails via the Gmail SMTP servers. That said, those services I just mentioned, like SendGrid or Mailgun, they provide SMTP servers as well, so you could use NodeMailer inside of your Node app, configure them to communicate through their SMTP servers and send messages. That said, there are also like dedicated libraries for like SendGrid for Node, so you could literally just install this package and it has functions like send email, message mail, sgmail.send. So that's a thing. Jiraj, hello Jiraj, it's been a while. You can solve coding problems on Codiri. I've never heard of Codiri. Learn coding, improve your life. Oh, they have a boot camp? They have an interesting website. They got a graphic designer to like put all these images together. That's pretty sweet. Yeah, maybe I'll check that out. What part of Vue do you like? I like that the single file component structure. So the idea that you can have styles, JavaScript, and your template all in one file. I like that the getting a phone call. This could be spam. It's probably spam. I like that it the reactivity in it allows you to mutate state. So you can literally just change a property. You don't have to call anything like set state. You don't have to worry about immutability. You can just change your state and the Vue instantly updates. I really like that. I like that the Vue ecosystem kind of has everything built in. So you can use the Vue CLI. You can get a router set up and ready to go out of the box. You can get Vuex, which is like Redux, set up and go out of the ready to go out of the box. They have a really cool plugin infrastructure, so you can, once you've generated your app, you can easily add things like Vuetify or Apollo or any of these other things that you would typically use in an app with just like one command. It's really easy to set up. So The other part of Vue I really like is just like the ecosystem itself. Whereas with React, I mean, you didn't ask compared to React, but React is what I use on a daily basis at work. Compared to React, all of these things you have to install separately and configure separately, and they're from different maintainers, and you have to keep up to date with them, and it's not as great. So that's why I like Vue. Hello, Ravi. See you later, NP. Hello, Ed. But you are late. Yes, I gotta go. I gotta go work. It's 10:30. Amanda saying, no, I guess Monk is bugged. I don't know. Maybe post a screenshot in the Discord of the error you're getting. I can maybe try to help you debug. But yeah. Wakata.io. Learn how a computer program is actually interpreted by a computer. That sounds interesting. Okay, last thing we look at. Wakata. Come on, DuckDuckGo. It's like I'm trying so hard to get good results with DuckDuckGo, but HTML. Go. Guest. 0. Run. Weird. Okay, cool. Hello, Satya. You have to do a React Native app soon. I love React. Maybe I'll do that. What are your thoughts on upcoming ECMA proposals? I don't have time to talk about them. I'm sorry, Ashwin. I do have to go. But next time, ask that question. Cool. All right. ATD says, how has Tony been? Tony's been good. I was actually on a call with him last night, helping him out with some Java homework that he had. He had to implement the algorithm for validating credit card numbers in Java, and I helped him with that, so that was fun. But he's really busy right now. He has to work. He's got school. I told him eventually once things die down, he's gonna come back on the show. Yeah. You're very welcome, ATD. Thanks for tuning in. All right, everyone. See you later, Ed. Thanks for tuning in. This was super fun. We didn't talk about any news, but we answered a bunch of questions. We talked about tech stuff. We got rated. Shout out to what was their name? I forgot. Let me pull it up. Pixel Logic Dev. Huge shout out to Pixel Logic Dev and for them for rating with a party of 31. Any Pixel Logic devs that are still around, I appreciate you. Thanks for tuning in. Check out my YouTube channel. That's usually where I go live first. I'm trying this new thing where I stream on both Twitch and YouTube, so that's a thing. Alrighty, everyone. Wherever you are in the world, have a wonderful morning, afternoon, evening, or night. And until next time, here's this.